Okay, good morning, folks, and welcome to session number 2 of the Keystone Aquatics New Year's Invitational. We'll get started in just a moment. Hopefully your live stream is up and running smoothly. We have live streams offered on both Facebook and YouTube. At just searching Keystone Aquatics will yield those results. So we'll get started in just about 2 minutes. The first event this morning is going to be the 200-yard backstroke. Again, this is session number 2, the 13 and over swimmers at the Keystone Aquatics New Year's Invitational in picturesque Carlisle, Pennsylvania. We'll be right back.
Again, I'd like to welcome everybody to Keystone Aquatics Center to wonderful Carlisle, Pennsylvania. We'll be starting this morning's session with event number 5. This morning's session is broken down into 13-14 girls and boys, and then open girls and boys. And we'll follow in that order, girls followed by boys. The first event today is 200 backstroke, event number 5. Girls 13-14, 200 backstroke. There will be 3 heats. Heat number 1 should have 3 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so as we just heard from our meet announcer, we're starting up with heat number 1 of the girls 13-14 200-yard backstroke. Okay, and in the water now for heat number 1. Swimming in lane 3, that's Maddie Burns. In 4, Lila Friedman. And in 5, Maya McCautry. 3 swimmers in heat number 1. There's going to be 3 heats for this event. Heats number 2 and 3 will be filled with 8 swimmers. But in this heat, it's McCautry in lane 5 who's out to the comfortable lead. She was seated with no time, so can't know exactly what to expect out of her, but she was out in 33.78 at her first 50 split with 6 lengths remaining. Okay, so now we see the 100 split for Maya McCautry in lane 5. She was out in 110.19. Again, seated with no time, but looking to perhaps be under 230. The only swimmer in the heat with a seed time is the swimmer in lane 4, 13-year-old Lila Friedman. She's been 3 minutes, 0.56 at her best. So a big goal would certainly be to break 3 minutes for the first time if she can pull that off with 75 yards remaining for her and her teammate Maddie Burns in lane 3. But 50 yards remain for the leader in the group, Maya McCautry. 147.89 is her 150 split. Just about 30 yards remaining for McCautry in the first heat of this morning's session. As far as breaking 3 minutes for the first time for Friedman, that's almost a sure thing. She's 2:05.77 at the 150 split, so she brings back the final 50 under 54 seconds. She'll break 3 minutes, but the winner for heat number 1 is 2:25.15. That's the heat 1 first position to touch, Maya McCautry. So she goes from no time to 2:25.15. 10 yards now remain for Friedman and about 15 for Burns. Definitely under 3 minutes for the first time. That'll be 2:50.50 will be the 200 time for Lila Friedman out of lane 4. In lane 3, 2:56.25 will be Maddie Burns. Up next, a full heat, heat number 2.
That brings us to event number 5, girls 13, 14, 200 backstroke, heat number 2 of 3. 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now, it's heat number 2. We got a full pack this time. In lane 1 is Price. In 2, Worth. 3, Kyle. Is it Kill? Kyle. Okay, there's also a Kill from Keystone. Right. And in 4, it's Harshman. In 5, Welker. 6 is Bonnie. 7, Sheldon. And 8, Wanberg. The top seed in heat number 2 is Maddie Harshman. She's swimming in lane 4. Her best has been 2:36.81. And she was the first swimmer at the 50 mark. It already has about a body length lead, 75 yards into the race. Harshman has got a pack of her teammates right above her in lanes 5 and 6. So this heat features 6 swimmers from Fast and 2 from Keystone. And the 100 split will still belong to Harshman. She extends her lead by more than 2 seconds. She's 1:11.12 at the 100. Again, we mentioned her best has been 2:36.81. So less than 50 yards remain for the leader of this whole heat. That's Harshman. She's 150.20 with 50 yards remaining. So if she brings this final 50 home under 40 seconds, she'll be under 2:30 and have a lifetime best by a good margin. The other swimmer closest to her, one lane up, that's Harper Welker. She's been 2:39 at her best, so she's certainly poised for a new best time as well. But it will definitely be Harshman first at the wall, 2:27.73. So that's a 9-second best time for her. 2:32.18 is Welker, good for second. And third, that'll be their teammate, McKenna Bonney, 2:36.83. She takes 11 seconds off her best. First swimmer to touch from Keystone will be Victoria Kyle. She was 2:39.79. Drop for her as well. So a flurry of best times in that heat. We've got one heat remaining, heat number 3.
Event number 5, 13, 14 girls, 200 yard backstroke. Final heat number 3 of 3, 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is our final heat of the girls 13, 14, 200 backstroke. That's heat number 3. Swimming in lane 1, Cherix. In 2, Magditch. In 3, Hasis. In 4, Camden. 5, Caramel. 6, Fickett. 7, Lawrence. And 8, Kraft. Camden is the top seed in the heat, and she is first at the 50 marker. So the trend remains from heat number 1, from heat number 2, where the top seed gets out to the lead. So Maddie Camden in lane 4, her best has been 2:11.1. And she was out in a 30.9 won, I believe, at the first 50, 30 point something. And her closest racer right now is just about 2/10 behind. That's her teammate, Sophia Kermiel, in lane 5. Her best has been 2:15.51. And it looks like with 75 yards remaining, it's the swimmer in lane 5, Kermiel, who's got a nice turnover going, and she's taken the lead by about a half a body length as they approach the final 50 yards of event number 5. So a nice third 50 split for Kermiel. She was 34.65, so she's got 50 yards remaining. Her split for the 150 mark is 139.55. Her best has been 2:15, so it will be a best time most likely for Sophia Kermiel. The question is maybe just by how much. Second will probably still belong to Camden, but Georgia Magditch in lane 2 looks strong as well here at the finish. But it will be Kermiel who takes the win for the event. She's 2:13.58. Again, a nice fourth 50 as well. And a 2-second drop. 2:15.50 is second for Camden. And third will belong to Magditch, 2:18.27. So a big drop for Magditch as well. So that'll round out the top 3 finishers for event number 5. Up next, we're looking at event number 6, the boys 13-14 200 backstroke. Well, and there's going to be 2 heats for that one. Coming right up.
Event number 6, boys 13-14, 200-yard backstroke. There'll be 2 heats. Heat number 1, 7 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so in the water now, we've got heat number 1. There's going to be 2 heats of the boys 13-14 200-yard backstroke. In heat number 1, in lane 1 is Kermakov, in 2, Pasquarello, in 3, Grover, in 4, Klechivsky, in 5, Friday, 6, Johnson, and 7, Scorpo. As we approach the halfway mark, the 2 swimmers who gained an early lead on the group are lane 1, Kermakov, and lane 4, Klachevsky. They're 104.74 and 105.28 at the 100. So it's Grant Kermakov who's got about a 1-second lead. Now they're looking at 75 yards remaining. Grant Kermakov is another one of those swimmers who was seated without a time. So although he's in the outside lane, he could have been maybe expecting a strong swim here. And he's got a 2.5-second lead now at the 150 mark. 138.97 is the 150 split for Grant Kermakov, 13-year-old from Keystone Aquatics. Second is definitely going to belong to Daniel Klachevsky. And Grant Kermakov will actually, come close to finishing 50 yards ahead of some of the other swimmers in the pack with a really nice, presumably the first 200 backstroke he's ever done, and it's a good one. 2:11.23 will take heat number 1 for Grant Kermakov. Second is going to be 2:18.12, belonging to Daniel Klachvisky. So he'll take a best time as well. Third is yet to touch, but that's coming up right now. Third is going to be Friday in lane 5, 2:43.42. But 2:11.23 will certainly set the standard for the second heat as Grant Kermakov out of lane 1 takes heat number 1.
Event number 6, boys 13-14, 200-yard backstroke. Heat number 2 of 2, final heat. Mr. Referee, 8 swimmers.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 2. There's only going to be 2 heats for this event, so this is the last one we're going to see of the boys 13-14 200-yard backstroke. In lane 1 is Nash, and 2 Cummings, and 3 Desclus, and 4 King. 5 is Miller, 6 Strucko, 7 Radnovich, and 8 Papanicolo. And it was Marcus Papanicolo who definitely took the first 50. The lone swimmer under 30 at his feet in that first group. 28:11 was Marcus Papanicola's first 50 split. His time he's seated with is 2:30.89. So if we're betting here, I'd count on a best time for him as he's still leading at the 100 mark, 59.85. So if he brings back his second 100 under a 1:30, we'll be looking at a best time. Second was the top seed, Brady King. He's been 2:17.56 at his best. 1:02.47 was his 100 split. So he might be setting himself up nicely for a best time as well. You got to wonder if he's aware that there's a swimmer out in lane 8 with a nice race and a nice lead. Papanicolo is still leading at the 150 split, 132.37. So we'll see. He might drop from a 230 to a 205 in his first swim of the morning session. Boys 200 backstroke. Second is definitely still going to be Brady King. And the race for third features just about every swimmer in the heat. So they'll all flip for the final 25 yards, but they're about 20 yards behind Marcus Papanicolo, who will take the event and take a new best time. 2:04.45 will win heat number 2. 2:10.04 will be good for second for Brady King. Remember, we saw that 2:11.23 from Kermakov in the previous heat, so he'll earn third overall in the event. But third in the heat will go to Radnovich in lane 7, 2:17.17. But we saw 4 2:17s, so the swimmers up in lanes 1, 2, and 3, Nash, Cummings, and Desclose, were also 2:17s and also lifetime bests.
This takes us to event number 7, the girls open 200-yard backstroke. There will be 2 heats. Heat number 1, 6 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so after some outside smoke in that previous heat from Papanicolo, we're on to The event number 7, the girls 200-yard backstroke. So this will be swimmers, I was going to say 15 and up, but that's not totally true. I see a couple 12-year-olds listed in here. But nonetheless, in heat number 1, there's going to be 2 heats. Heat 1 has Hetzel in lane 2. 3 will be Radnovich. 4, Blake. 5, Nash. 6, Van Pelt. And 7, Timmy. $34.61 was Nash's first 50 split. So Hannah Nash leads the group by just about a tenth or two. Not a lot of rest between events here for the Radnovich family. Marshall Radnovich turned in the third place finish in the previous heat for the boys 13-14, and who I'm assuming is his older sister, is swimming in lane 3 in this heat. But the first 100 split, again, neck and neck, 1:11:35 and 1:11:43 will be Joelle Blake and Hannah Nash's 100 splits. Blake is the one with the top seed. She's been 2:28:52 at her best. Nash has been 2:31. So with 50 yards remaining, it's going to be Blake, who still has a narrow lead. It's about a half a second now. 1:48:82 was Joelle Blake's 150 split. So if she can bring this final 50 back under 40 seconds, she'll be looking at a new lifetime best. Hannah Nash may be looking for a best time as well, as they've just remained neck and neck, and it looks like Nash has the stronger stroke rate right now and might be looking to finish a little stronger, and might have missed the finish a little bit there, because it will be Blake who takes the heat. 2:26:26. So that's like origami there. That's nice symmetrical time. And 2:26:73 will be Hannah Nash's time for second. So they both go lifetime bests. Third in the group will be Rebecca Radnovich. She's 2:34:62. Up next, heat number 2.
Event number 7, girls 200-yard backstroke. Heat number 2 of 2, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Alrighty, in the water now is heat number 2 of 2 for the girls the girls open 200-yard backstroke. We'll see another event of 200 backs after this, and then we'll switch it up a little. Up next, we'll see the boys. In this heat, we'll just mention quickly before I tell you all the names. Colvard out of lane 4 had the lead, was the lone swimmer under 30 at the 50 mark. She was 29.96. So all the swimmers in this heat, swimming in lane 1 is Walls, and 2, Yerknick, and 3, Mancinelli, and 4, Colvard, 5's Ford, 6, Norris, 7, Skimmy, and 8, Fulton. It's still going to be Colvard at the 100 mark, and the lead is extended. 1:02:13 is Chloe Colvard's 100 split. So her best has been 2:07:75. We'll see how nicely she can split this second 100. It might not be one of those dramatic 30-second drops we saw in some of the previous heats, but perhaps right around 2:07 and maybe a couple tenths lower than the previous best. She certainly has the lead on the rest of the group, though. Second belongs to Ford in lane 5. Her best has been 2:14:91. 135.73 will be the 150 split for Chloe Colvard. So I think she might, be a slightly shy of the previous best, but maybe a 208 will still be good to win the event, certainly. Second, by several body lengths, is still Ford, and the race for third features Jurkanek and Norris and Skimmy. But first at the wall, 209.05 is definitely good for the win for Chloe Colvard. She'll be the lone swimmer under 210 in this event. 216.76 earns second for Ford. And Alex Skimmy, but we got a parent out there who wants to correct me. That's a 12-year-old, so good for Skim in lane 7. 218.77, just about 2/10 off her previous best, but she takes third in the heat with the high school girls. Up next, the boys 200-yard backstroke. Well, there's going to be 2 heats.
Next event number 8, boys 200-yard backstroke. There will be 2 heats. Heat number 1, 3 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now, there's going to be 2 heats of the boys 200-yard backstroke. Heat 1 just features 3 swimmers. In lane 3, Alexander Harris. 4 is Chucky Ames. And 5, Luke Piccolo. It's Ames with the lead with about 110 yards remaining for him. Chucky's previous best is 209.57, and at the 100 he's 101.98. So actually, interestingly, the winner in the previous heat, Colvard, was 209. If he ends up splitting it similarly to her, he could be looking at a best time. She was out in 102, he's out in 101. So Chucky Eames in lane 4 definitely has the lead. The other 2 swimmers, Harris is seated with a 257.09. And Luke Piccolo is seated with a 227.71. 135.74 is the 150 split for Chucky Ames. And second is definitely going to be Piccolo with 50 yards remaining now for him. 146.11 is his 150 split. So he'll be looking at likely a best time by, I would guess 3 seconds. That's where I'm going to put it. But the finish here for Heat 1 is definitely going to be Chucky Ames, who is 209.66 and just 9/100ths of a second off his previous best. But he definitely takes the heat. Piccolo is second at the wall, 223.64. What did I say? He'd go best time by 3 seconds. He went a best time by 4. So outperformed my prediction. Good for you, Luke Piccolo, out of lane 5. And rounding out the heat will be Alexander Harris, 238.07. Well, that's a best time by 19 seconds. Up next, heat number 2.
Event number 8, boys 200-yard backstroke. Heat number 2 of 2, 6 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 2 of 2. There are 6 swimmers. In lane 2 is Schreiber, 3 is Welker, 4 McMillan, 5 Hemingway, 6 Texter, and 7 Estep. 27.61 is Hemingway's opening split for the 1 second lead on 2 other swimmers in the pack. Schreiber and McMillan are the next ones closest behind. Hemingway's previous best, 2 minutes, .21. So I don't think I even need to say it. We know what the goal would be for Patrick Hemingway. Second at the 100 mark is going to be Aiden McMillan, who's the top seed in the event. McMillan's previous best is 158.81. He's out in 59.54, but 58.41 is the 100 split for Patrick Hemingway, who's got 75 yards remaining. So Hemingway maintains the lead with 50 more yards to go. 129.31 is the 150 split. As I mentioned, he'd been 2 minutes, .21. He's going to sit right around that 2-minute mark again. And I've got some excited fans behind me trying to will him into the finish. He'll take the win regardless, so that's exciting. But okay, so an exciting finish and lead the entire way gets Patrick Hemingway the win for the event. 2 minutes, .07. He'll take about .15 off his previous best. I guess .14. I got to check my math there. Second is going to be 2:04 for McMillan, 2:04.58, and 2:05.42 will round out the podium for that group. Well, that was Ethan Welker in lane 3. So it's Patrick Hemingway with the win, 2 minutes, .07. He shaves a little closer. Up next, the 100 breaststroke.
Event number 9, 13-14 girls 100-yard breaststroke. There will be 4 heats. Heat number 1, 4 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so we're switching disciplines now. Take a little break from backstroke as we see in the water now. Heat number 1. Event number 9, the girls 13-14 100-yard breaststroke. There are 4 swimmers in this group. Swimming in lane 3 is Sonlin, and 4 Conley, 5 is Price, and 6 Bowl. Personally, I'm going to be cheering for Claire Price out of lane 5, who I can tell lost her goggles. So she needs the support of the viewers at home and those on the deck as well, because I've been in her shoes. That's a tough hand to get dealt. But she's in second at the 50 mark. 41.57, though, is the fastest first 50 split. Addie Sonlin has the lead. Again, another one of those situations where a swimmer is seated with no time, so we don't know exactly what to expect. But Sonlin looks like with 25 yards remaining, she'll definitely take heat number 1. The top seed is Kennedy Conley, who's just about tied for second with Price. They've been 138 and 139. And then Ella Bowl in lane 6 is seated with no time as well, so she'll look to get her first 100 breaststroke time posted in the books. But it's definitely going to be Addie Sonlin first at the wall. 126.20. And then it'll be a real close race the entire way for Conley and Price. They're both 132 at the 100 mark. They both go lifetime bests. 132.20 for Conley and 132.81 for Claire Price. Ella Bowl will round out the group at 142.59 to get a time on the board for her. Up next, heat number 2.
freestyle goal. Event number 9, girls 13-14, 100-yard breaststroke. Heat number 2 of 4, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, we've got a full heat now in the water for heat number 2. There's going to be 4 heats total. Heat 2 of the girls 13-14 100-yard breaststroke. In lane 1's Wilhelm, in 2 Harshman, 3 Cherix, 4 Welker, 5 Kyle, 6 Brelsford, 7 Wainberg, and 8 Roding. Top seed in this group is Harper Welker. She's been 125.14 at her best. The fastest at the wall, though, is the swimmer in lane 3. That's Courtney Cherix. 40.14 is her 50 split. She is seeded with a 128.24. But the lead has now been taken by the swimmer in lane 2, Maddie Harshman, whose best has been 130.142. So definitely going to be a best time for Harshman with about 15 yards remaining for the 2 leaders in the group. Third looks like it's going to go to the top seed, Harper Welker, in lane 4. So it'll be lanes 2, 3, and 4 who place 1, 2, and 3. 123.01 is the winning time in heat number 2 for Maddie Harshman. 125.13 will be second for Cherix, and third will be Welker. 129.27. So 123.01 will be the new time to beat for the remaining 2 heats. That's Maddie Harshman out of lane 2. Up next, heat 3.
Event number 9, girls 13-14 100-yard breaststroke. Heat number 3 of 4, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, right back into it. Another full heat in heat number 3. Swimming in lane 1 is Murray, and 2 Hartman, 3 is Leonard, 4 Magdich, 5 Hassis, 6 Fleschiker, 7 Carlos, and 8 Lawrence. .36.35 is the fastest first 50 in this heat. That belongs to lane 6, Fleischiker. So it'll be 2 Parkland swimmers placing 1, 2 in this heat, it looks like. Lane 4's Magdich is the top seed in the group. She's been 119 at her best. Wow. But best times getting posted again. 116.04. She had the 50 lead, and she ended up taking it. Lane 6, Fleschiker, a new best time for her. Magdich out of lane 4 will get second with the other 116, 116.83. And third will belong to Hassis, 118.37. Best time for her as well. So 3 best times take the top 3 spots in the heat. And the Parkland swimmers go 1, 2. Up next, heat number 4.
Event number 9, girls 13-14 100-yard breaststroke. Heat number 4 of 4, final heat, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is the final heat for the girls 13-14 100 breaststroke. Heat number 4. In lane 1 is Dymek. In 2, Rasmussen. In 3, Kill. In 4, Moore. 5, Straub. 6, Fisher. 7, Cheplik. And 8, Edsall. There are several 33s at the first 50 mark, but the fastest of that group, 33:21. Fisher, Paige Fisher out of lane 6, takes the fastest first 50. She has been 1:11.88 at her best, so maybe breaking 1:10 for the first time. 1:08.11 is the top seed, Lily Moore in lane 4, and she's in the mix as well for second, but a well-executed swim for Fisher could be first time under 1:10. Oh. Close. Very close. Still a lifetime best, but it's going to be 1:10.05 for Fisher to take the event. 1:11.35 will be good for second for CC Traub, and 1:12.09 Lily Moore will round out the group in third.
Event number 10, boys 13-14, 100-yard breaststroke. Heat number 1 of 3, 4 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so we roll on with more 100 breaststrokes. There's going to be 3 heats for event number 10, the boys 13-14 100-yard breaststroke. In heat number 1, there are 4 swimmers. Swimming in lane 3s, Johnson. In 4, Pusnolsi. 5, Grover. 6, Burns. Pozluzny. That'll be my best guess for lane number 4, who has the lead at the 50 mark. 39.93, the lone swimmer under 40 at the first 50. That's Pozluzny. We're practicing it here. And he deserves his name pronounced correctly, being as he's going to take the heat win. So Christian Pozluzny's previous best is 136.80. I'm definitely going to beat that. 124 perhaps. Yep, it'll be 124.52 to take heat number 1. Second's going to be 129.14 for Jonathan Grover. And third in the group is going to be Johnson. And fourth is Burns, 132.73 and 133.46. So some big best times in that group as well. Up next, heat number 2.
Event number 10, boys 13-14, 100-yard breaststroke. Heat number 2 of 3, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so as we mentioned, there are 3 heats for this event. In the water now is heat number 2, swimming in lane 1, Sober, and 2, Miller, 3, Verma, 4, Brandt, 5, Hicks, 6, Herman, 7, Radnovich, and 8, Svets. $34.63 is the fastest first 50 in that group. Aiden Bratt, he's been 117.38, so he looks poised for a new best as he's got a 1 body length lead on Lane 3, Verma, and it looks like lane 6, Herman is right in there. But the top seed, Brat, still enjoys the lead with about 10 yards to go in heat number 2 of 3. But this will be a closer pack than we've seen in some of the other heats so far today, as 1:15:01, Aiden Brat will take 2 seconds off to take heat number 2. 1:16:45. Well, I'm sorry, that'll be the time for third for Verma. 1:15:69 will be Herman's time for second. Up next, heat number 3.
Event number 10, boys 13-14, 100-yard breaststroke. Heat number 3 of 3, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, on to the final heat of the boys 13-14 100-yard breaststroke. There are 8 swimmers in the water. In lane 1 is Taylor, and 2 Vicknair, and 3 Todd, 4 is Zolob, 5 Minor, 6 Wojnowicz, 7 Cummings, and 8 Bassner. 1 swimmer is under 30 seconds at the 50 split. Alexander Zolob is 29.79 at the 50 mark. And it's a close race between Zolob and Braden Todd out of lane 3 with 25 yards to go. Zolob's 14, Todd's a 13-year-old. They've been 105 and 106 at their best. 105.81 is the top seed for Zolob. And he's going to separate himself again for the final few yards for a lifetime best. 104.00, a smoking quick time for Zolob. Todd will definitely get second. He's going to go a best time as well, 105.11, so more than a second drop for him. Third is going to belong to Minor, 107.38. So the top 3 swimmers are the top 3 seeds, which is sometimes what you expect, but not always what you get. That finishes up heat number 3. Up next, some more breaststroke.
Event number 11, girls 100-yard breaststroke. Heat number 1 of 2, 7 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so we're on now to the open divisions. It'll be the girls 100 breaststroke first. There's going to be 2 heats in the water for heat number 1 is Price in lane 1, and 2 is Molter, 3 Gordon, 4 Walls, 5 Tucci, 6 Brower, and 7 Grissinger. There was a 36 for the fastest first 50 in that group. 36.70 was the 50 split for Lauren Walls out of lane 4. So Walls' previous best is 1:19.48. Now we got another swimmer going without goggles here, right in my line of vision. That's Bailey Greisinger in lane 7. So 20 yards remain for her, and we're going to cheer her home without the goggles. But the heat winner will be 1:17.77. A 2-second drop for Lauren Walls. Takes heat number 1. Second in that group will be Price. Price was previously seated with no time. Well, she's got a time now, 1:19.37. Third, well, that's Gordon out of lane 3, 1:21.99.
Event number 11, girls 100-yard breaststroke. Heat number 2 of 2, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 2. Swimming in lane 1, Silona. In 2, Turner. 3 is Farina. 4, Routson. 5, Kill. 6, Pashenko. 7, Estep. And 8, Skyme. Or maybe Syme. 31:01 is Routson's first 50 split. I remember seeing Routson put up some great breaststroke swims back in December for another meet I was on the call for, and she made the trip from Frederick up to Carlisle to win some breaststroke events at that meet. Well, she did the same thing today, looks like. So she is definitely going to take the win. 1:05.90 is the 100 time to take the win for Sophia Routson. Second will go to Kill. 1:08.21, and third will be Farina out of lane 3, 1:10.48.
Event number 12, boys 100-yard breaststroke. 3 heats. Heat number 1 of 3. 3 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, this will be our last group of 100 breaststrokes for the morning. It's going to be 3 heats for the boys, 100 breast. In heat number 1, there's 3 swimmers. In lane 3's Boston, and 4 Singley, and in 5 Timmy. Although this is usually the 15 and up event, we got a 10-year-old swimming in heat number 1, so we're rooting for him. That's Easton Timmy in lane 5. He's seated with no time, so anything can be a win for him. I'll say he won the 10 and under division in this heat. But the lead belongs to Singley in lane 4 with about 10 yards remaining, and Kai Boston out of lane 3 is about 5 yards behind him. So it's going to be Singley at the wall first, 1:06.61. 1:12.02 will be the time for Boston. They're both seated with no time as well. I wish the first time I swam the 100 breast and got a time for it, I went 1:06. That would be pretty cool. So now we're cheering for Easton Timmy out of lane 5 as he holds it down for the 10-year-olds. Now 5 yards remain for him, and then we'll be on to heat number 2. Easton's time will be 1:43.20.
Event number 12, boys 100-yard breaststroke. Heat number 2 of 3. 6 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, there's 3 heats for our final group of 100 breaststrokes for the morning. This is heat number 2. Swimming in lane 2 is Colvard, and 3 Irwine, 4 is Zupnik, 5 E-Step, 6 Lehman, and 7 Harris. Top seed in this group is Zupnik out of lane 4. He's been 106.68, but E-Step's been 106.74. And E-Step has the lead at the 50 mark by a whole second and a half. So E-Step is 29.88. So taking heat number 2 is definitely going to be Derek E-Step out of lane 5. Second will likely be Ethan Irwine. 1:04.04 for Derek E-Step. I'm consulting the folks around me. Is 1:06 truly his best time? Okay. So good to see that new time for Derek E-Step. 1:06.06 will be second for Ethan Irwine, who also takes 2 seconds off his best. And 1:07.77 will be third for Zupnik. Up next, heat number 3.
Okay, that brings us to event number 12, boys 100-yard breaststroke. Heat number 3 of 3, 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, folks, apologize for being away from the mic for a second there. We got the final heat in the water of 100 breaststroke for the day. This is the boys 100 breast. Heat 3 has E-Step, Piccolo, Farina Jr., Welker, Keating, Wetherhold, Schattenberg, and Desclose. The win in the event is going to belong to RJ Farina Jr., 1 minute .77. So no one will break the minute barrier today, but a new best time for Farina Jr. 1:01.64 will earn second for Ethan Welker. Third is going to go to lane 5, Liam Keating, 1:02.13. Minute .77 takes the win for Farina Jr.
Event number 13, girls 13-14, 200-yard butterfly. 1 heat, 5 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, so we're changing up strokes again. We're on now to the 200-yard butterfly. In hindsight, for rushing to a bathroom break, this should have been the time I done it. But that's okay. There's just going to be one heat for the girls 13-14 200 fly, and there's going to be 5 swimmers. In lane 2 is Ed Saul, 3's Friedman, 4 Saramelli, 5 Carlos, and 6 Worth. When I see Carlos in lane 5, I know she's already swum an event today. I want to say Carlisle. So good thing I got some help with the pronunciation for Sophia Saramelli's last name, because she definitely has the lead in this lone heat of the girls 13-14 200 fly. So she is going to be 1:02:51 at the 100 mark. Her best has been 2:11:39. So if she brings back this second 100 in a 107 or a 108, we're looking at 210 territory. But for now, she definitely has the lead, and I don't think that's going to change. The question is how close she can get to the lifetime best. Sophia Carlos in lane 5 definitely has second, and she's the second seed as well, so she's been 2:31:49 at her best. Just hanging anywhere close to Saramelli would definitely guarantee Carlos a new lifetime best. 1:38:22 is the 150 split out of lane 4, so Saramelli might not take the best time today, but she'll probably turn in 2:12 or 2:13, definitely securing the win. And in the process, hopefully guiding Sophia Carlos to a new lifetime best and a second-place finish. But at the final 3 or 4 strokes, if it's going to be 2:14:49 to take the win in this event for Sophia Saramelli. Second is definitely going to be a new best time, so that'll be another Sophia Carlos, 2:24:31. We'll earn second in the group. And coming up next, it looks like third is going to be Heather Edsall, who is seated with no time. Well, she's got a time now. Well, I would tell you the time, but the clock's not showing it. But 2:40 something. Sorry, that's not very helpful. So it was Edsall who was at the wall in third, but Ella Worth gets 2:54:74, and 3:05:68 is the time for Lila Friedman. Up next, there's going to be one heat. The boys 13-14 200 fly.
Event 14, boys 13-14 200-yard butterfly. Heat number 1 of 1 heat, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so after we saw just one heat of the 13-14 girls, 2 fly, we're going to get the same thing for the boys. One heat with 8 swimmers in this one. In lane 1, Kunin, and 2, Desclos, and 3, Franchetti, and 4, Pletz, 5, Taylor, 6, Herman, 7, Pasquarello, and 8, Wickner. So it's looking like 29-29 is the first 50 split for John Franchetti. His previous best has been 2:22:90. And the next closest is Felix Wickner in lane 8. The top seed for the 13-14 boys 2 fly is Andrew Pletz. So 2:21 is the standard to beat in this heat. 2:14 is what we saw in the previous heat from Sophia Saramelli. So see if any of the boys can take that down today. Felix Wickner now in... Oh, I'm sorry. Is and still certainly in second. I lost track of one of the swimmers. Still John Franchetti with the lead with 50 yards left to go. He's 136.61. So he may be the lone swimmer under 210, or he might be around 211. We'll see what he's got left in the tank. He's keeping his turnover going, and he gets in and out of the final wall pretty quickly. In that 200 fly, it's always tempting to hang there and catch your breath, but you got to drop the elbows to the wall and get back out. It's definitely going to be John Franchetti who takes the win for the 13-14 boys 2 fly, and he does it in 2:11.61. An 11-second drop for him. Second will be best time for Felix Ickner as well, 2:15.91. Third is going to be Lane 5, James Taylor, 2:18.14, a best time for James Taylor as well. Up next, 2 heats this time, more 2 fly action. The girls 2 fly, event number 15.
Event number 15, girls 200-yard butterfly. 2 heats, heat number 1, 4 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so we've got 2 heats in the water for the girls' 200-yard butterfly, and the first heat's got 4 swimmers. Fulton has got the lead at the 50 mark. She was 32.35 for her first 50. So in the heat, in lane 3 is Tucci, and 4 is Fulton, 5 Hetzel, and 6 Crawford. So as I've rambled about before, for folks who recognize my voice, I'm a Frederick native as well, so I enjoy cheering for the fast swimmers when I get the chance. That's Frederick Area Swim Team. I'm wondering right now if Samantha Fulton is related to Carlin Fulton, who I swam with back in the day. Perhaps a younger sibling, cousin, something like that. But Carlin Fulton was a fast swimmer at one point, and her sister has the lead, I'm hypothesizing her family member. Maybe there's no relation, but regardless, we'll cheer for her. Samantha Fulton out of lane 4 has got the lead with 75 yards remaining in heat number 1 of 2 of the girls' 200 fly. So 50 yards to go. Fulton maintains the lead, 148.45. Second, trailing by 4 seconds, is 152.31. That's Ella Crawford. When we're speaking of folks' hometown, I'm hearing rumors that Ella Crawford is it a Mississippian? A Mississippian. So try spelling that. So she definitely has second secured in heat number 1 here. And third is going to be Sydney Tucci. The group will be rounded out by Hetzel in lane 5. But from the first 50 to the last 50, it's definitely Samantha Fulton. 2:27.00. Previous best is 2:35. That's a 7-second drop for Fulton. 2:33.35 will be the time for Ella Crawford, who doesn't have a time listed, so I'm going to call that a best time for her. And 2:39.19 will be good for third for Sydney Tucci. And we got about 5 yards remaining for Bitsy Hetzel. And the clock might have missed the pad there at the finish, so the time's not showing up on the scoreboard, but that's okay. We'll get it to you in the results. It's saying 3:06.74, but that's whenever her knee hit the pad or something. So up next, heat number 2.
Event number 15, girls, 200-yard butterfly. Heat number 2 of 2, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 2. This will be the final heat for the girls 200 fly. Swimming lane 1 is Radnovich, and 2, Fletchiker. 3 is Waller. Or, I'm sorry, 3 is Walls. 4, Sheridan. 5, Colvard. 6, Kill. 7, Teresas. And 8, Dymek. So we get 330 points to lead out the first 50 in this group. 30.33 is the fastest of the pack. That's Isabella Kill in lane 6. Her previous best is 223. It'll be interesting to see if she can stick with this group because Abigail Sheridan in lane 4 has been 213 at her best. So that's a 10-second gap in best times, but a 2/100th of a second gap in 100 splits in this heat. Abigail Sheridan's a 20-year-old, so might be a college swimmer joining the group here. Staying in shape over the winter break. 75 yards remain, and the lead now actually looks like it belongs to Chloe Colvard by maybe, I wouldn't even go as far as to say a half a body length, but a foot or two. Chloe Colvard's previous best has been 214, so the favorites going into this heat would certainly be Sheridan and Colvard, who have been 13 and 14. 141.40 is the 150 split for Chloe Colvard. She's actually still got a real nice tempo going with about 30 yards remaining. It's a 200 butterfly for those of you who know the event well. It's certainly a lot of swimmers lose their tempo and their entry gets wider and wider, catch less and less water. Well, understandable, the shoulders get tired, but Chloe Colvard has pieced together a nice second half here, and it'll earn her the win in the event. 2:17.39, 2:18.45 will go to Sheridan. That's good for second. And 2:21.51, that'll be Isabella Kill, and she'll be the one out of the top 3 who posts the best time. So that'll be Kill for third. And up next, we'll see the boys 2 fly, of which we'll only have 1 heat.
Event number 16, boys 200-yard butterfly. 1 heat, heat number 1. 6 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so we're only going to see 1 heat for the boys 200-yard butterfly, and it's in the water right now. There's 6 swimmers. In lane 2 is E-Step, in 3, Farina. 4 is Welker. 5 is E-Step. Ooh. Looks like some brothers racing here. 6 is Stinner. And 7, Papanicula. So Marcus Papanicula, 14-year-old, swimming in lane 7, is definitely going to have the lead at the 100 mark. He's 55.37. Says in here his previous best in the 200 is 2:14.04. Now I know if you go out in 55, you're supposed to break 2 minutes. That's what the coach says anyway. But We'll see if he can hang on to break 2 minutes for the first time. The top seed's Ethan Welker, 154.86. And Welker is the one swimming the long race here. He's now just less than a second and a half behind with 50 yards remaining, and he had the fastest third 50 split. He was 30.97 in the third 50. So we'll see if either swimmer's under 2 minutes, but it's going to be close. I think 159 might take the event win, which would be a best time if it was Papanicolaou. It wouldn't be for Welker, but third looks like it's going to be Derek Estep because he trails both of them. It'll be Papanicolaou 158. So there's a nice strong finish for Marcus in lane 7. Papanicolaou's 158.27, a big lifetime best. 159.84 will be the other swimmer under 2 minutes. That's Ethan Welker out of lane 4. And third in the group will be Derek Estep out of lane 5, 2:02.33.
Okay, that brings us to event number 17, girls 13-14, 100-yard freestyle. There will be 5 heats. Heat number 1, 3 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so now we're moving on to 100 freestyle. Not surprisingly, we got more heats of 100 free than we had of 2 fly. There's going to be 5 heats for the girls 13-14 100 free, 3 swimmers in the water for heat number 1. Sonlin is in lane 3, Burns is in 4, and Bowl is in 5. Sonlin was the one with the lead at the 50 mark, 30.08. Addie Sonlin is also seated with no time, so whatever she puts up here is going to be something to be proud of. Second is Maddie Burns with about 10 yards remaining. Burns has been 1:14.67 at her best. It's going to be 1:02.59 to take heat number 1, which will actually place into some of the later heats for sure. Addie Sonlin with 1:02.59 in heat number 1, 1:09.82. Well, 5-second drop from Maddie Burns, not too bad either. 1:19.08, a drop of 0.2 of a second for Ella Bowl to round out heat number 1. Up next, heat 2.
Event number 17, girls 13-14, 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 2 of 5, 7 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Alrighty, now in the water is heat number 2. 7 swimmers in heat 2. In lane 1 is Roding, 2 Conley, 3 Wainberg, 4 Friedman, 5 Brelsford, 6 Harshman, and 7 Sheldon. Okay, 31.17 is looking like the fastest first 50 in this group. Belongs to Maddie Harshman out of lane 6. Yeah, and from my view, with 25 yards remaining, Harshman's got a 3 body length lead on second in the field. It's a pretty big gap to open up in the 100 free, so hopefully a new best time for Harshman. The race for second features several swimmers, though. Harshman will put up 105.44 to take heat number 2. 108.72 will be good for second for Conley. 109.45 will be Bree Wainberg's time for third. So it'll be 105.44. A big drop for Maddie Harshman out of lane 6. Up next, heat 3.
Event 17, girls 13-14, 100-yard freestyle, heat number 3 of 5. 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 3. Swimming lane 1, Wilhelm, and 2, Fleschiker, and 3, Bonnie, 4's Kraft, 5, Lawrence, 6, Murray, 7, Welker, and 8, Price. Seen a 102 and a 105 take the previous 2 heats. Now we're getting down to seed times that look more like that. Olivia Kraft out of lane 4 has been 103.79 at her best. And she's going to be first at the wall for this heat. 29.54 is the 50 split for Olivia Kraft. We'll see if that leads her under a 103, her previous best. So I think Kraft will hold on to the lead, but it'll be a narrow win. Well, not so much per 100 anyway. 102.03 will be the new lifetime best and the heat-winning time for Olivia Kraft, and the fastest time we've seen so far. 102.75 is good for Fleischiker out of lane 2. New best time for her as well. And third will go to Murray in lane 6. 103.11.
Event number 17, girls 13-14, 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 4 of 5, 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, so we've seen 102s win 2 out of the 3 previous heats, and now we're seeing some seed times closer to a minute and 101. And there's a lone 59 seed time in this heat. This is heat number 4. In lane 1's Kyle, 2 is Carlos, 3 Magditch, 4 Christopher, 5 Rasmussen, 6 Gardner, 7 Fickett, and 8 Leonard. Okay, so we see 328s at their feet for the 50 mark. That's Carlos and Christopher and Rasmussen. No, not Rasmussen. It was Ava Christopher who had the fastest first 50 split by just about a tenth of a second. She's the lone swimmer who's been under a minute in the past. 59.89 is her previous best. It might be a 100 that takes this heat, but, well, maybe 59 will get on the board. Yes, okay, so the 3 swimmers that were out in 29s hit the wall for 59s. 59.63 will take it for Sophia Carlos, so she'll go a big best time and take the win. 59.86 and 59.98 will be the times for Christopher and Rasmussen to round out the top 3 in that heat. Now we've seen 3 59s. We'll see what we get in heat number 5.
Event 17, girls 13-14, 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 5, final heat. 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is our final heat of the 13-14 girls 100 freestyle. This is heat number 5. In lane 1 is Hassis and 2 Traub, 3's Cheplick, 4 Kill, 5 Camden, 6 Fisher, 7 Moore, and 8 Dymek. Okay, first at the 50 mark is Kill. She's 27.07, but there's three other 27s in the group, a lot of 27 mids. 27-20 was Paige Fisher, who trailed Sam Kill most closely. So it doesn't look like it'll be a best time today for Samantha Kill, who's seated at 53.11, a scorching fast seed time. But we'll see if she can hang on for the win after the 50 lead. She actually drops it by a couple hundredths of a second, and a new best time will go up for Paige Fisher out of lane 6. So she's 56.08 to take the win. 56.14 is Samantha Kill for second. Let me see what's third here. And third, we'll go to lane 5, Maddie Camden. She was 57.05.
Event number 18, boys 13-14, 100-yard freestyle. We'll have 4 heats in this event. Heat number 1, 4 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Alrighty, we're rolling on to the boys 13-14 100-yard freestyle. It's going to be 4 heats. Heat number 1 has 4 swimmers. In lane 3's Burns, 4 Verma, 5 Scorpo, and 6 Pasquarello. All 4 seated with no time. So I'm just going to say it flat out. 4 best times. 28-19 is the 50 split for Ricky Verma out of lane 4. So how about for your first time swimming the 100 free? Try and break a minute. That'd be a good first swim. He might be in the around the minute territory. We'll see. The race for second is definitely between Burns and Pasquarello, but Ricky Verna is going to take the heat in 59.24. 103.97 is going to be good for second for Pasquarello. Burns is going to be 106.78. And 116.63 will round out the group for AJ Scorpo.
Event number 18, boys 13-14, 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 2 of 4, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now. Heat number 2 of the 13-14 boys 100 free. Swimming in lane 1 is Johnson, and 2 is Pazlansny. 3 Sober. 4 Nash. 5 Friday. 6 Klachvisky. 7 Svets, and 8 Grover. 27.78 is comfortably the fastest first 50. That's the swimmer in lane 4. In the top seed for the heat, Colin Nash. Well, Colin Nash's previous best is 1 minute .96. I bet you Colin Nash's new best time's under a minute, as he's going to take this heat by a couple body lengths. Second will be Friday most likely, but 57.96 will be the new best time for Colin Nash, 13-year-old out of lane 4. Friday gets second. 1 minute .40, certainly a best time for him as well. And 1:01.80, another best time in that group, will be good for third for Daniel Klachvisky. Up next, Heat 3.
Event number 18, boys 13-14, 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 3 of 4. 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 3. So we saw a 57 take the previous seat. Top seed in this group's a 57. There's going to be 8 swimmers in lane 1, Basner, and 2, Cunin, and 3, Bratt, and 4, Radnovich, 5, Zolob, 6, Miller, 7, King, and 8, Strucko. Okay, 25.92, a quick first 50. Brady King has the lead at the 50 mark. Several swimmers not too far behind. Brady King's previous best is 58.65. As we so often see at these meets, at least since I started broadcasting them, best times get crushed, and Brady King's going to be another one to do that today. So he's been 58.65. Well, now he's going to be 53.21 to take heat number 3. 55.24 will be the second place time for Bryce Miller, a big best time for Miller as well. And Zolob will be good for third. His previous best was 57.48. Well, today it's 55.29. So 53.21 is the new standard with 1 heat remaining. Nice job, Brady King. Up next, heat 4.
Event 18, boys 13-14, 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 4 of 4, final heat. 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 4. In lane 1, Hicks. In 2, Kermakov. In 3, Cummings. 4's Todd. 5, Miner. 6, Pletz. 7, Wojnowicz. And 8, Herman. Top seeds, 51.46 for Braden Todd. Braden Todd has the lead halfway through the heat. 24.77 at his feet. That's Todd's 50 split. He has about a half a body length on lanes 2 and 3. That's Kermakov and Cummings. And right in the group 2 is Daniel Miner out of lane 5. So the race for second will be between all of those swimmers, but Braden Todd will hold on for the win. 51.59. He's just a tenth of a second shy of his best, and there's a tie for second. It's exciting to see. Kermakov and Cummings both put up best times as well. 52.95 is the tie for second. We'll mention Miner's time as well. 53.10 is fourth in that group because of the tie of Kermakov and Cummings. So 51.59 will be the win for Braden Todd.
Event number 19, girls 100-yard freestyle. 4 heats. Heat number 1, 4 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so we got 2 more events of 100 freestyle. There's going to be 4 heats for the women and 3 for the men coming up. First up, the 4 heats of women in the waters now is heat number 1. There's 4 swimmers in heat 1, and lane 3 is Sarns, and 4 Gordon, 5 Greisinger, and 6 Sarns. Oh, see, I'm counting on the program, and I'm not trusting my own 2 eyes. There are 2 swimmers in the water, so we got a couple no-shows for this group, but that's okay. Gordon and Greisinger are the 2 swimmers in the water. You know what we call that? A swim-off. 32.81 was the first 50 split for Ava Gordon. who will likely take this swim off. 20 yards remain in the first heat of this group. Interestingly, the high school age students didn't show up for this heat, but the 12-year-old and the 11-year-old did. So Gordon's a 12-year-old. Her best has been 1:13.26, and she's going to take 5 seconds off of that. 1:08.91 takes heat number 1 for Ava Gordon. Bailey Greisinger will touch next at 1:21.16. Up next, heat number 2.
Event number 19, girls 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 2 of 4. 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 2 of 4 for the girls 100 free. In lane 1's Van Pelt, 2 Moltaire, 3 Blake, 4 Mancellinelli, 5 Dymek, 6 Tucci, 7 Nash, and 8 Brower. A tight heat at the 50 mark. 29.95 is Tucci's first split. She's the fastest of the group. Tucci's previous best is 1:03.64, so she might be closer to a 1:01 this time around, and Tucci looks like she's definitely going to hold on to take heat number 2. So 1:01 was my prediction. 1:01's what we got, but narrowly. 1:01.93, Tucci will take heat number 2. 1:03.50 will be good for Nash for second, and third will belong to Blake. 1:03.93. So 1:01.93 takes the group for Sydney Tucci out of lane 6. Up next, heat 3.
And then 19, girls 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 3 of 4. 8 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 3. In lane 1, Edsol, and 2, McCautry, and 3, Walls, 4, Pashenko, 5, Solano, 6, Walls, 7, Terezas, and 8, Fulton. 28.05 out of lane 1. Heather Edsall looks like it was the fastest first 50 split, and that's a 13-year-old, so she's holding it down for the young ones in this group, racing several 15 and 16 and 17-year-olds. But a lot of swimmers in this group have broken a minute before. The lone swimmer who hasn't is Fulton up in lane 8, so a lot of 57s and 56s for seed times, but we won't see those today. We'll see a 58.18 take the win. That's Jillian Walls out of lane 6. 58.25 will be second for Terezas, and 58.78 out of lane 1. Edsall will round out the group in third.
Event 19, girls 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 4 of 4. Final heat, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, now we see our final heat of the girls' 100 freestyle. In the water, it's heat 4. Lane 1's Turner, 2 Colvard, 3 Norris, 4 Routson, 5 Skim, 6 Ford, 7 Yurkanik, and 8 Sheridan. As I mentioned earlier, I need someone to help me out with the pronunciation for Alex Skim in lane 5 because she's a 12-year-old and is the second seed for this event. So we're rooting for her to succeed here against the older group. But Routson is the one who's first at the wall for the 50 split, 26-62. Sophia Routson's the top seed, and she won the 100 breaststroke earlier in today's session. She's been 52.77 at her best, and she's got a half a body length or probably a full body length on the next closest swimmer. I believe that's lane 6, Garrity Ford, who's been 55.72 at her best. Routson touches first, 54.46. Ford's 56.30 to get second. Third's going to belong to lane 7, Sabrina Yurkanik, 56.54. So another win today will go to Sophia Routson. 54.46 is good for the win in the girls' 100 freestyle. Up next, 3 heats of boys.
Event number 20, boys 100-yard freestyle. We'll have 3 heats in this event. Heat number 1, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, now we've got our final group of 100 freestyles for the day. I'll be looking forward to the next up when we got 200 IM. Fun one to watch. But this is a fun one, too. 3 heats of boys 100 free. In heat 1, lane 1 is Boston, 2's Harris, 3 Lehman, 4 Irvine, 5 Zupnik, 6 Colvard, 7 Time, and I said Timmy earlier, 8 Butterworth. 26.12 is the fastest first 50 for Ethan Irvine. His seed time is the fastest in the group as well, 56.68. So he's got a pretty sizable lead, but second looks like it's going to go to Kai Boston in lane 1. It's actually seated with no time. 54.43 will take the win in this group. A 2-second best time for Ethan Irvine, 56.93. Just a time period for Kai Boston because he didn't have one. Third will be Zupnik out of lane 5, 58.91. And we're rooting again for Easton Timmy to put up a nice swim here. It's the 10-year-old in the group, and he is going to round it out at 123.98. Up next, heat number 2.
Event number 20, boys 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 2 of 3, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 2. Swimming in lane 1's Keating, and 2 Texter, 3 E-Step, 4 Stinner, 5 Perval, 6 Schreiber, 7 Ames, and 8 Piccolo. 24.14 is the fastest first split in heat number 2. That belongs to Aaron Stinner. But certainly several people in contention here. Second looks like it's going to be lane 6, Jack Schreiber. But first of the wall is definitely Aaron Stinner out of lane 4, 50.32. He takes a second off his previous best. 51.61 is going to be good for Schreiber to take second. He goes a best as well by a second. And third will be Perval, 52.70. That'll round out heat number 2. Up next, heat 3.
Event number 20, boys 100-yard freestyle. Heat number 3 of 3, final heat. 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Alrighty, this is our final heat of the 100 freestyle for the morning. This is heat number 3. Swimming in lane 1 is Peak Low and 2 Weather Hold, 3 East Step, 4 Papanikolu, 5 Hemingway, 6 Desclos, 7 Dopkowski, and 8 Camden. Papanikolu is the top seed. 46.29 is his previous best. He's out in 22.13. He is most closely chased by a 22.29 from Patrick Hemingway. Papanikolu is a 14-year-old as well as E-Step up in lane 3, and he had the lead at the 50 mark. It looks like Hemingway might have overtaken the lead, and he does, and he finishes with a best time. 46.19 is the new lifetime best and the win for Patrick Hemingway. 46.25, it's the 14-year-old. Marcus Papanikolu has been showing his speed all day. And rounding out the group is E-Step, another 14-year-old, 49.77. So nice swims for Hemingway, Papanikolu, and E-Step. Hemingway takes the win. New best time, 46.19. Next up, we're switching gears completely. The 200 IM.
Event number 21, girls 13-14, 200-yard IM. There will be 4 heats in this event. Heat number 1 should have 3 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay. In the water now, we've got a totally different event, the 200-yard individual medley. There's 4 heats in this group for the 13-14 girls. Heat number 1 just has 3 swimmers. In lane 3, Addie Sonlin, 4 is Maddie Burns, and 5, Kennedy Conley. So we're watching 2 lengths of each stroke here, starting with butterfly, which these girls have already completed. Next, backstroke, breaststroke, and then freestyle. The lead belongs to the swimmer in the group with no previous time, Addie Sonlin, out of lane 3. Her 100 split is going to be 1:16.29. Top seed in this group, Maddie Burns, 3:05.07. So we'll see if we can get some folks under 3 minutes for the first time, as we got 100 yards remaining in heat number 1 of the 200 IM. Okay, finishing up heat number 1 is Addie Sonlin, who controlled the lead the entire time. She's 2:43.30. 2:53.09 will be second for Conley, and 2:54.89 will be third for Burns. So what was that thing I said? Hopefully some swimmers under 3 minutes. 3 for 3, under 3 minutes. And up next, we'll see heat number 2. Okay, in the water now is heat number 2. Swimming in lane 1's Roding, and 2 Worth, 3 is Bonnie, 4 Fleischiker, and 5 Harshman, 6 Hartman, and 7 Brailsford. So the leader at the moment, as we approach the halfway mark of the heat number 2 of the 200 IM, is Maddie Harshman. She is 110.95 for her 100 split after a lap of fly and a lap of back. But nice long extension on the breaststroke here is coming from the top seed, Fleischiker. So she's trailed by maybe 3 seconds at the 100 mark, but they're virtually tied. And now Fleischiker's ahead. So a real long, efficient breaststroke for the swimmer in lane 4 and the top seed in the group. So Fleischiker's previous best has been 2:43.80. She's going to have the lead with the freestyle remaining, and she's going to go best time too. 1:54.49, and a really nice second half for her. Second, though, than the one who led earlier on. She certainly solidified second. Is going to be Maddie Harshman out of lane 5. There will be a close race for third. $2:29.14 will win heat number 2 for Fleischiker. 2:36.38 will be second for Harshman. Well, that's an easy best time for her, too. Well, it wasn't easy. I'm sure it was really challenging, but a comfortable best time. And third will be Bonnie out of lane 3, 2:43.42. So best times round out that group. Fourth was right behind Worth, 2:43.63. Best times up there in lanes 2 and 3 as well. But it'll be all Fleischiker with the strong second half to take heat number 2 in 2:29.14. Up next, heat 3.
Again, 21, girls 13-14, 200-yard IM. Heat number 3 of 4, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
As we are at the halfway mark of the girls 13-14 200 IM, we're starting off heat number 3. There's going to be 4 heats total. In lane 1 of heat 3 is Welker, and 2 Cherix, 3 Carless, 4 Fickett, 5 Christopher, 6 Gardner, 7 Leonard, and 8 Kraft. I used to swim with a Christopher Gardner. Those are the last names in 5 and 6. Look at that. The 50 butterfly lead belongs to Carlos out of lane 3. 31.89 is her fly split. The top seed in the group is Emma Fickett, 230.17. Ava Christopher has also been a 230 before. 230.47 is the best time for Christopher. But Carlos is the one with the lead. Oh, well, my eyes deceive me. She has also been 230 at her best, 230.89. And she's going to lead halfway through heat number 3 of the 200 individual medley. 110.19 is the 100 split for Carlos. There's three other 110s in the group, and actually the swimmer in lane 8, Kraft, had the fastest one. So I was off by a little bit on my calculations, but the lead and breaststroke so often does separate the pack and IM. It's definitely Sophia Carlos now with the lead with about 60 yards remaining. So she was 110 at the 100 split. The previous heat's winner was also 110 at the 100 split. That one ended up going to Fleischhaker out of lane 4. 152.53 is the 150 split for Carlos. The race for second is definitely going to be between Gardner and Christopher, but Gardner looks like she has about a half a body length lead, but from start to finish, it was always Carlos. 2:25.01 to take heat number 3. 2:29.68, a nice finish from Christopher, and Gardner will be 2:29.88 to round out the third place spot in heat number 3. We got one heat remaining of the 13-14 girls 200 IM. Heat 4.
Event number 21, girls 13-14, 200-yard IM. Heat number 404, final heat, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, our final heat for the 13-14 girls 200 individual medley has 8 swimmers in lane 1, Hassis, and 2, Dymek, 3's Kill, 4, Sarah Mealy, 5, Traub, 6, Cheplik, 7, Fisher, and 8, Rasmussen. 28-27 is Sarah Mealy's 50 butterfly split. She has the fastest seed time, but there's some folks seeded in there as well. Sarah Mealy's been 2:12.18 at her best. CC Traub has been 2:12.96 at her best. And Samantha Kill up in lane 3 is 2:13.54 as the best time. But at the 100 mark, this is going to be the fastest 100 split we've seen in the event so far by a good margin. 1:02.37 is the 100 split for Sophia Saramelli, who has already put in some nice swims so far today. So she will certainly have the commanding lead with 75 yards remaining. The question is who's got second. Lane 5's CC Traub is trailed by just a couple feet by Paige Fisher out of lane 7. $50 yards remain now for Saramelli. So I don't think Sophia Saramelli will quite touch her previous best today, but she might just be a second or two shy.
as she's going to touch first in a commanding race throughout. 2:14.49, 2 seconds shy of the previous best, but good for the win. 2:16.86. CC Traub was there the whole way and holds on for second. And third is going to go to Fisher out of lane 7, 2:19.25. So a nice 2-second drop for Fisher to round out the podium in the 13-14 girls 200 IM. There's going to be 3 heats for the 13-14 boys coming up now.
Event number 22, boys 13-14, 200-yard IM. We'll be having 3 heats in the event. Heat number 1, 3 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so we're going to have 3 heats of the boys, 13-14, 200 individual medley. Heat number 1 is just going to have 3 swimmers. Lane 3 is Scorpo, 4 Johnson, and 5 Burns. Okay, checking back in for the conclusion of heat number 1 of the 13-14 boys 2IM. Max Johnson took the win in this group, 255.66. 258.96 was the second place time for Aiden Burns. And AJ Scorpo is going to touch now. Looks like maybe he missed the pad. Not sure about the time, but Scorpo rounds out the group, and we'll see heat number 2.
Event number 22, boys 13-14, 200-yard IM. Heat number 2 of 6 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 2 of 3. In lane 2 is Svets, 3's Nash, 4 Basner, 5 Hicks, 6 Friday, and 7 Polzunski. Okay, top seed in heat number 2 is Parker Basner. 2:31.05 is his previous best. And Basner looks like he'll be in second at the halfway point. The leader is going to be 1:07.18, the 100 split for Colin Nash, who's been 2:40.31 previously in the 2IM. So the race looks like it's definitely in the middle of the pool. Nash has the lead at the halfway point. Basner looks maybe a little stronger on the breaststroke leg. Basner going at this long swim without a cap. I respect the method. 1:50.49 after a nice breaststroke split from Basner. Nash is now 2 seconds behind for third with 50 yards remaining. For second. And third with 50 more yards to go is Garrett Hicks out of lane 5. But, Colin Nash, after getting past in the breaststroke, certainly didn't give up on the free. He's put in a nice final split. Yeah, he brings the free home quickly, closes that gap to just about 0.8 of a second between him and Basner, but it still fell a little behind as Basner put up the nice breaststroke leg and held on for the win. 2:21.87, 2:22.55 will be second for Nash, and Garrett Hicks will round out the group in third, 2:30.50. That's 1, 2, and 3 in heat number 2. 1 heat remaining.
Event number 22, boys 13-14, 200-yard IM. Heat number 3 of 3. Final heat, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
All right, now we've got 8 swimmers in the water for heat number 3. Swimming in lane 1 is Bratt and 2 Pletz, 3's Cummings, 4 Franchetti, 5 Wojnowicz, 6 Miner, 7 Kermakov, and 8 Miller. Franchetti has the top seed time. He's the lone swimmer who's broken 2:10. He's been 2:09.82, and he leads 50 yards into the race. So 28.61 is the butterfly split for John Franchetti out of lane 4. .101.46. That's lane 4. Franchetti, who holds the lead at the halfway point. The closest swimmer to him is 1:03.04 out of Kermakov in lane 7. So Kermakov's been chasing the whole way. See a nice breaststroke split coming from a couple of swimmers in the heat who are catching up to Kermakov, but no one's catching Franchetti, who has probably at least a 5-second lead on the rest of the group. He's 140.22 with 50 yards remaining. So might not be under 2:10 today, but we'll just be a little shy of his best time, and we'll certainly still take the event win. A really nice second half coming together for Daniel Miner out of lane 6. I saw he had outsplit some of his neighbors for the second place position in breaststroke by 4 or 5 seconds. So he might hold on for second, but 2:11.68 will be the winning time for Franchetti out of lane 4. Okay, and Kermakov reclaims his second place spot at the last second, 2:15.07, be a best time for Kermakov, and 2:15.14 will be a best time for Miner as well for third. That concludes the boys 13-14 200 IM. We've got 2 events remaining this morning. Up next, open girls 200 IM, 4 heats.
Event number 23, girls 200-yard IM. 4 heats. Heat number 1, 3 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so we're approaching the halfway point of heat number 1 of the girls 13-14. I'm sorry, just the open girls 200 individual medley. There are 3 swimmers in the water. The one with the lead at the halfway point's the 12-year-old Carly Timmy out of lane 3 has a 3-second lead on Brower and Molterre in 4 and 5. Timmy's seated with no time, so whatever she puts up will be her new standard for the 200 IM. The best seed in the group is Abby Brower, 241. 40 is her previous best. But the group is going stroke for stroke and breaststroke right now. So it'll come down to freestyle in heat number 1 of the girls 200 IM. Okay, 25 yards remain now in heat number 1. Abby Brower was the top seed, and Abby Brower's taken the top position in the home stretch of heat number 1. She's going to touch first, but will probably be a little bit off the best time. 2:43 will be the winning time for heat number 1. 2:43.38, 2:44.65 will go to Timmy, and Molterre will run out the group at 2:45.39. So the Frederick area swim team swimmers stick together. Up next, heat number 2.
Event number 23, girls 200-yard IM. Heat number 2 of 4, 6 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 2. Swimming in lane 2 is Nash. 3 is Antonelli. 4 Walls. 5 Radnovich. 6 Estep. And 7 Murray. 30.95 is a nice first butterfly split for Jillian Walls out of lane 4. Her previous best is 2:25.18. So as the top seed in the group, she's established herself in first early. Closest swimmer to her is in lane 3, Laura Manicelli. And they're touching at the halfway point. Just about neck and neck. Well, a whole second apart. It looked like more neck and neck, and Manicelli might have missed the wall for a second there with their backstroke touch, but still certainly a race between 3 or 4 swimmers with 75 yards remaining. Okay, so taking the win for that for heat number 2, I'm sorry, it's Walls, 2:27.78. Second will be Estep, and third was Manicelli out of lane 3. 2:33.20 was Manicelli, and Estep was 2:28.80.
Event 23, girls 200 IM. Heat number 3 of 4, 8 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, now in the water we got heat number 3 of the women's 200 individual medley. The leader at the halfway point was 29.71, the butterfly split for lane 3, Sheridan. Let's meet everyone in the heat. In lane 1's Price, 2, Fleischaker, 3, Sheridan, 4, Ford, 5, Norris, 6, Skim, 8, Yurkanik, and 7 Yurkanik, and 8 Crawford. .105.67's the new leading time at the halfway point for Sabrina Yurkanik from lane 7. She's a Parkland swimmer. Several of them in this heat. 4 to be exact. Racing against some Keystone swimmers and some unattached swimmers. Garrity Ford has been the previous best time in this group. Ford's been 2:16.35, the top seed for the heat. A lot of 2:19, 2:20, 2:21s outside of that in the left and right-hand lanes. But 1:48.97, a real narrow lead still holding on for Sabrina Yurkanik out of lane 7. Hopefully she can turn in a nice freestyle leg and maybe a new lifetime best. Right behind her almost the whole way, and still there. That's Abigail Sheridan. She'll either get second or first if she overtakes Jurgenik here at the end. But no, Jurgenik will definitely hold on to 1983. So a 2-second drop for a new lifetime best for Jurgenik will take heat number 3. 2:20.52 for Sheridan is good for second. Oh, third is going to go to Maddie Price out of lane 1. She's 2:22.02. That's a best time by half a second for Price as well. Final heat coming up for the women, heat number 4.
Event 23, girls 200 IM, heat number 404, final heat, 8 swimmers.
Okay, in the water now, we've got heat number 4. This is our last heat for the women. In lane 1 is Moore, 2 Turner, 3 Farina, 4 Routson, 5 Kill, 6 Pashenko, 7's Colvard, and 8 Solano. Routson's taken a couple event wins today, and she's the top seed in this event as well. 2:06.85 is Sophia Routson's previous best. And she leads at the halfway point, but it's a narrow lead she's got. Isabella Kill out of lane 5 is 1:03.11. She's just a 10th behind at the halfway point. We know Routson's a strong breaststroker, but comparatively to her first couple events, she's got more competition than she'd had. So lane 2's Sarah Turner and lane 3's Gianna Farina are both racing as well. Still Routson with the lead, but it's by less than a half a second. 140.50 is the 150 split. Like I mentioned, she'd been 2:06 at her best. She's not going to go a lifetime best today. We'll see if either of them turn in something close to 2:10 to win the event. Routson's definitely piecing together the stronger finish. Kill's going to get second. Third is definitely going to go to her teammate, Sarah Turner, up in lane 2. 2:11.28 is the winning time for Routson. 2:12.74 is second for Kill. 2:14.67. Sarah Turner claims third in the group. So not so many best times for the top finishers, but still strong swims regardless, to earn them the podium finishes. We got one event remaining in this morning's session, event number 24, boys 200-yard IM.
Event 24, boys 200-yard IM. There will be 3 heats in the event. Heat number 1, 3 swimmers, Mr. Referee.
Okay, so thank you for sticking with us this morning through session number 2 of the Keystone New Year's Invitational. We're on our final event of the morning. It's event number 24, the boys 200-yard individual medley. It's going to be 3 heats. Heat number 1's in the water now, and heat number 1 is led by Michael Singley at the first wall. He's swimming in lane 3. He's racing against Zach Lehman in lane 4, and Noah Colvert in lane 5. Okay, so we're finishing up heat number 1 now. The leader throughout has been Michael Singley, and he was seated without a best time, so understandably, we'll call this his best time. 2:14.42 takes heat number 1 for Michael Singley out of lane 3. Second at the wall now is going to be 2:29.84 for Zach Lehman. And Noah Colvert's going to round out heat number 1. His best time has been 2:46. He takes 6 seconds off of it. 2:40.66 for Noah Colvert. That rounds that out, and we're ready for heat number 2.
Event number 24, boys 200-yard IM, heat number 2 of 3, 7 swimmers. Mr. Referee.
Okay, in the water now is heat number 2, our second to last heat of this morning's session. In lane 1 is Peeklow, 2 is Zupnik, 3 Schattenberg, 4 E-Step, 5 Camden, 6 Texter, and 7 Perval. The leader at the at the first 50 is Ben Schattenberg out of lane 3. He's 25.38 for his fly split. If memory serves, Schattenberg's a strong backstroker as well, and will look to extend his lead. Not sure what to expect in breaststroke and freestyle, but at a meet we hosted here about a month or two ago, Schattenberg took the backstroke events, and through the backstroke leg of the heat 2 of the 2IM, he's got the lead as well. 55.34 is his halfway split. Second in the heat is Eric Camden out of lane 5, so his seed time's 2:10. Well, both of them are seated with a 2:10. Oh, heck, they're seated with the exact same time. So Schattenberg and Camden have both been 2:10.25 at their best. Well, I'm thinking Schattenberg will lower that 2:10 today. Someone I've enjoyed cheering for over the years. He's a Frederick High School cadet, similarly to this broadcaster. So be doing the Frederick High School cadets name proud as he'll take the win in heat number 2. The question is how much of a best time this is going to be. Camden is holding on to second, but his lead on the third place position is shrinking. Schattenberg's 1:59.72. 11-second best time. Goodness gracious. All right, so Schattenberg takes heat number 2 at 1:59.72. He'll place into heat number 3 as well. 2:08.25. Camden holds on for second. 2:10.02 is good for third from Colby Eastep out of Heat 2. So there was some best time for Camden as well. But Schattenberg, the 159.72. We'll see how that places in Heat number 3 coming up.
That brings us to event number 24, boys 200-yard IM, heat number 3 of 3, final heat of the assessment. Mr. Referee.
Okay, so as we heard, this is our final heat of this morning's session. Is it still morning time? Yeah, we can call it the morning. Heat 3 has 8 swimmers. In lane 1's Keating, 2's McMillan, 3 Eastep, 4 Farina Jr., 5 Welker, 6 Eastep. How many Easteps are there? Goodness. 7 is Hemingway, and 8 Schreiber. So the 2 Easteps in this group are Derek in lane 3 and Brandon in lane 6. The leader at the halfway point is Hemingway, 25.04. So he just came off a win in the 100 freestyle, showing his speed again here with the lead in the 2 IM. See if he's still leading at the 100 mark. That's Patrick Hemingway in lane 7. The top seed is RJ Farina. He's been 157.15 at his best. The leader at the halfway point is still Hemingway, 56.29. He's a second shy of the 55 that Schattenberg went out in. Hemingway's previous best is 2:03.96. So he looks like he's got some competition here in the breaststroke leg. Lane 3, Derek Eastep and RJ Farina in lane 4, both putting together a nice breaststroke leg. But they'll all be pretty close with 50 yards remaining. The leader is Eastep out of lane 3, Derek Eastep. And then a couple of 133s are chasing behind him. It is a challenging event as we see a nice tough guy final leg from Farina, who, he closes the gap to 7/100ths of a second. But it's Derek Eastep who will take the win. 2 minutes, .33, 2 minute, .40 will be what Farina gets for second, and Hemingway will hold on for third, 2 minute, .83, and a best time for him. He's the lone best time out of those top 3 swimmers. But the winner, as I like to predict and I like to root for, Ben Schattenberg with the 159.72 out of Heat 2. That'll conclude this morning's session.
Thank you for attending the morning session. Tomorrow's morning session will begin as same as this morning, with warm-up beginning at 7 o'clock and starting at 8:30. After tomorrow's morning session, we also have the 500. For those of you who have seen the 500, we'll be able to stick around and stay even longer here at this wonderful facility at Keystone Aquatic Center. We're happy to have you here. Enjoy your lunch, enjoy your day, and there's lots and plenty of sunshine outside there today. Thank you, and please clean up the area that you're in. We appreciate you coming. Have a nice day.
Okay, so not much more I can say that the announcer for the pool deck hasn't already said, but it's a nice sunny day here in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and we're wishing you all well, and thank you for tuning in to this morning's broadcast for session number 2. We'll be back for session number 3 at some time of day. What time of day is that? 1 o'clock will be when we resume for heat number 3. I'm sorry, for session number 3. And you can find us on Facebook, YouTube. Help your friends find us. And remember to like and subscribe. Build our brand, as we're pretty proud of the production we're putting on here at Keystone Aquatic Center, and we hope to share it with more of the swimming community. That's the end of session number 2. Session number 3, 1 o'clock. More fast swimming. See you then.